What's up, Internet? We are back with more of the Action SMS Mega Advanced Kart thing with Game Gear and also SMS games, but no Mega Drive games. Still a little bit annoyed about that. But there's 100 of these guys, and we are getting very close to the end. I just took a look, and we are like, if you go to the very bottom of the thing, you can actually see where we're at. So we're definitely close. I think we got like 4 more episodes in this. Now we're taking a look at Sonic Spinball, continuing the Sonic-ness with another weird Sonic game that really didn't need to be one. And we've got graphical glitches, so this is going to be great. But it's Sonic if Sonic was a pinball. So, yeah. Yeah. This is, Sonic Spinball, alright. It feels very, very slow and... like, the hit detection and, like, there's lag on everything. This is just a bad version of a game that I don't think is particularly good to begin with. But, yeah, if you like Sonic Spinball, this is a version of it on the SMS, I guess. Not the version I would recommend. Also, I don't know if it's just this version or, like, the fact that this is doing that, but, like, especially with that, like, just camera skip right there, it is making me a little bit motion sick just to watch this game. Oh, God. But the idea is you want to collect, I think, 3 Chaos Emeralds in every level and then fight a boss, and if you lose, then you go back to the bottom because it's a pinball table, but it's also Sonic. This is a weird game that really probably shouldn't exist. Also, I don't know what I just hit to get Sonic to go that way. Certainly wasn't the flipper, because the flipper was a mile away there. There is, like, 0 animation with this one, too. Like, I remember, at least in the Genesis version, if you hit those little snake face thingies, they would at least react. Now they just sort of disappear. Okay, now I actually do have control of Sonic, like it's an actual platformer, but that gets immediately taken away because now he's a pinball. And we don't have Chaos Emeralds, so we're not allowed to be here yet. Hooray. And, I mean, this is a pinball table with, like, pretty jankety physics. It's, bad is probably the best word for it, but this particular version of it is exceptionally not good. Like, at least the Genesis version was relatively smooth, and you could kind of figure out how to play it, sorta. But we just went back there. Okay, I'm calling it. I'm feeling nauseous just playing that. Okay, next we have Sonic the Hedgehog. The original. And this is the SMS version. I'm actually somewhat familiar with this. I never played it well, I never played it myself. I played it myself through a lot of compilations, but I never played the original cartridge. But I am familiar with this game. I remember it having some awesome music as well. And I believe the Game Gear version is relatively faithful to this as well. It's definitely very different from the Genesis version. They couldn't match the Genesis for speed, and I mean, the first Sonic game was, of course, not really a particularly fast game, but they went more for just trying to focus on the excellent platforming aspect. And I think in their own regard, they kind of nailed it for the most part. I think there is one particular boss that's really poorly made, but otherwise this game is relatively good. And it has a really great song. Let's see if we can get there, actually. It's start of level 2, I believe. Just because I want to use that, or listen to that song. I want to use that in this video. Also, for some reason, there's just nothing there, so you fall. Oh, and Chaos Emeralds in this game are awesome. Because if you thought Chaos Emeralds in the first Sonic were worthless, Chaos Emeralds in the 8-bit first Sonic are even more useless. Because, first of all they do is change the ending slightly. And by slightly, I mean they take the map world they show you at the end, and then they just remove some, like, the smog clouds, and that's your lot. It's pretty bad. And that's how you get a Chaos Emerald, by the way. Yeah, they're just flying around in this one. I actually kind of like that, and I kind of dislike it as well. Because I like it in that it sort of... it rewards exploration. Also, that's a checkpoint, and the thing is, if you don't hit that every time you restart, if I recall, it starts you at the beginning, so you do actually have to hit the checkpoint every single time, which is, again, not what I would call good game design. But again, I've played worse Sonic games. I've played Sonic Blast. You got to watch that. It was, not good. You played Sonic Spinball a few minutes ago. That, too, was a worse Sonic game than this. This one's an actual game that plays like a Sonic game. I'm way out of touch with how to play it properly, but this is definitely one of the better Sonic games on the 8-bit system. Whoop! Okay, controlling is a little bit touchy, but that's just based on how I'm controlling it. And if I was spin dashing there, I could have, or in ball form anyway. I don't think there was a spin dash in this version. No, there wasn't. Just like the console version, there was no, or console, the 16-bit version anyway, there was no spin dash in original Sonic. Unless you played the Saturn version, which was a ground-up remake that did actually feature the spin dash, among a lot of different things, including a remix soundtrack. I have a video on that too, go watch that. I'm going to try and work on adding cards and stuff to this, just to see if I can get better at this whole doing my job properly type of thing. Now, if I recall, one of the problems this game has is it doesn't like to give you rings before bosses, in that I don't think they ever actually give you rings before bosses. And there's this one boss that really could use it, and you don't get him. Come on, get down here. I think Jim Carrey understands that I've made fun of bits of his career before, and he just doesn't want to play fair as a boss. Game over. We didn't get to listen to the Bridge Zone music. Oh well. Look it up, it's good music. Anyway, starting with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now, when I first showed off this game, or this particular cart, I showed off this because, like I've said before, I never had a Game Gear, but everyone I knew did. And this was like the one game everyone had. And for whatever reason, like, they'd let me play it all the time. I could never get past the first level. So I wanted to see if I could when I first got this cart, and I absolutely didn't. That was a very big achievement for me, even though it was such just a small, dumb thing that was, like, just, I don't know, it was just clearing something up and vindicating myself as a child to know that I could actually do it. But I think this is not a very well-designed first level. Oh, yeah, it just dumps you in lava. This is, I don't like this game at all. Like I said, there's Sonic games on here that are actually good that I don't like. This is one of them. I would say this is bordering on not good, honestly. I like Sonic 2 on the Genesis, minus, like, the final boss and a few other design choices. I do not like the SMS Game Gear version, though. And even though this is the SMS version, it's identical to the Game Gear version. I remember this level design exactly from all the different versions I played. I like that the crab meats are two-toned. For whatever reason, like, half of them are just red, the other half are blue. Because reasons. Also, my rings disappeared. What is with this level design? Like, I mean, the first game wasn't great on the 8-bit systems, but it was better than this. I think they just got cocky. They said, oh, we got Sonic, let's just make a thing. It doesn't matter how bad it is, it'll sell because it's Sonic. And you know, the fact is, they were probably right. Oh, Sonic 2, you could have been... Yeah, crab meat. He's just two-toned for some reason. What a weird choice that was, too. Okay, crab meat's dead this time. Well, I cannot stand this game at all. I'm sure there are people who are very nostalgic for it and love it a lot. I'm kind of nostalgic for it too, just because I played it so much, but I hate it. I think this cartridge does have the two really good Tails games on it. Well, the one really good Tails game and the one abysmal Tails game. I can't wait to play one of those two. And the other I kind of swore I'd never play again, but here we are. Alright. Jump. Okay, calm down there, enemy. That enemy is playing great defense right there. Well, guess we're doing this without rings. I do like that duck sprite, though, when he's in the little minecart thing. Okay. And we got 10 rings out of that. Not that it matters, because it's the end of the level. That's a weird choice to make, too. I guess it's extra points. Alright. Level 3. Not gonna bother with the ride. Don't need it. I'm my own ride. There is actually no spin dash in this version either, which... You know, there was a spin dash in Sonic 2 on the 16-bit ones, so I don't know why they didn't include it with the 8-bit. I can only think that maybe this game was in development before Sonic 2 proper was. That's my only thought as to why they wouldn't have included spin dash with this. But yeah, then he saves you and then drops you in for a giant ant line, if I recall. And he just starts dropping things on the ant line to kill it. Yeah, I had trouble with this when I was a kid. Am I embarrassed? A little bit. To be fair, you get no rings for it. And the jump window on that's actually very, very tight. Okay, he doesn't actually have a hitbox there. Good. Good, good, good. And once again, that is vindication for me as a child. Because I just beat that. And we just destroyed the Death Egg. But that is closure for the massive nightmare that this game was to me when I was a kid. Don't even care what level 2 is. But anyway, now we're on to the 4th game, Sonic Triple Trouble, which I believe was the prequel to Sonic Chaos, which was one of the few really, really good ones on the 8-bit systems. So let's play this. I remember this one being pretty good. This is where Fang the Knack Weasel Sniper guy came from, even though no one can agree on what his name actually is. He also has Knuckles in it, which I like, but you can't play as him, which sucks. Okay. Great Turquoise. Act 1. I like turquoise. That's a pretty color. It's not quite green. It's not kind of blue. Oh, this is very much green. Oh yeah, this game had some really good power-ups like Sonic Chaos as well. Like it has like this spring thing you can jump on. Get some extra height. It's like a portable-ish photo stick type of thing. I'm losing the ability to talk. My throat is swelling up and it is like 6 a.m. But this is how I have to record this in quarantine. So I'm hoping my coherency is at least somewhat existent, or else I'm going to be totally embarrassed by this. I don't know why everything just went all super washed out there for a sec. Alright, here we go. This is a lot better than Sonic 2, I will say this. This is one of the better Sonic games on the Game Gear, and I think there was a Master System version of Sonic Triple Trouble. I think. But we got a Chaos Emerald, except I don't think we actually did. But we got a sign of one, so that's probably not worth anything. Or we got a life, or continue, or something. Alright, Great Turquoise. Act 2. The second act of the second turquoise of the first level. Go! Wow, the hitbox on that's a little bit iffy. Still, I appreciate how many rings they're giving us. Whoop. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, this game has a lot more animation and bigger sprites than the previous games. I think it gets that washed out look anytime you like go near water to like sort of simulate an underwater effect. I think is what they're trying to do. But I'm not 100% on that. Oh, we don't need that checkpoint. We're gonna be fine. Uh-oh. We might be less fine now. How do I get up there? There we go. Haha, secrets! Come on, secret powers, go! Gotta be careful about how we do this. We gotta do this proper or else we're gonna not get that. Oh, we can't go back. That's kind of a dick way to do things. Still. Aw, Tails gets a cameo even though he's not being played. Good for him, I guess. Alright, one more act. Great Turquoise, Act 3. Okay, let's make this happen. And similar to the previous one, we don't seem to be actually getting any rings, which is concerning. But we'll just have to be careful, I guess. Yep, and like the other game, we don't actually fight Robotnik, we just fight his minions. Oh, I see what you have to do. Okay, we'll give it one more go. And then we really do need to move on. Because people are going to start getting up soon and being really, really loud and interrupting stuff, and I don't want that. Okay, let's break that, like that. Super speed, go! Now just hit the big angry robo-flying turtle mabob and make him go away. And this guy gets a cameo from the previous game, Sonic Chaos. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I thought I was supposed to hit him from above. I guess not. Anyway, that is number 4. Now we get Sonic, except it's not Sonic because it's Space Harrier. We're done with Sonic now. We can hope. We've done most of them anyway. Anyway, Game 5 is Space Harrier. And this was the one super scalar game we didn't have on my actual SMS, and this would probably explain why I don't like this game so much, although I don't think it's supposed to be displayed entirely in green like this. I think this is the cartridge bugging out. I think it is supposed to have like a blue sky behind it. I think this is just playing weirdly wrong. Similar to the previously played Afterburner, this is playing rather slowly, and you can kind of see that the whole console will be sort of straining under the pressure of trying to play this thing. As it did with pretty much all the super scalar games. Although I think it handled Outrun and Hang On rather well, although Hang On was a very different kind of game than its actual arcade counterpart, so it was not really a port so much as its own completely different thing. That said, this is definitely trying to be a port, and it's not great. But I mean, back in the day, this was a home version of Space Harrier. That's a big deal. I'm not sure if I like this more or less than Space Harrier 2 on the Mega Drive, because the Mega Drive never actually did get a proper Space Harrier. It got the sequel as a launch title, and I remember that not being very good. I've reviewed that game, and I don't care for it so much. But I will say it probably plays a lot better than this, honestly. I'm not sure I like it better, though. Because that game, well, first of all, it lost the mode where you actually get to play as this dragon. But, it was basically just a retread that didn't really do anything different. Other than changing the sprites up and making the music significantly less good. And I mean, say what you will about how well this plays, at least it still more or less has the soundtrack intact. This is a pretty decent 8-bit rendition of the Space Harrier theme. And I like the Space Harrier theme. But that said, it's not that great. Anyway, based on these past 5, what I recommend? Well, Sonic Spinball was, I don't think, ever really a particularly great game, but I think this is not a very good port of that. Original Sonic the Hedgehog is definitely something very, very different than the 16-bit iteration, but I think it's a fun game. I cannot say the same about Sonic 2, however. Whoopsie, that's the way we want to go. I cannot say the same about Sonic 2, however, but Sonic Triple Trouble is excellent. And Space Harrier, it's okay. Like, I'm not the biggest Space Harrier fan, but I think this version of it, for trying to be a home port on an 8-bit system, it's commendable. It's not great overall, but it is pretty impressive for what it was trying to do, like the other Super Scalar games. Based on these past 5 games, I would say yes to a moderate degree, because Sonic the Hedgehog and Triple Trouble are absolutely worth it, and Space Harrier's okay. Spinball and Hedgehog 2 you could skip though, but I know a lot of people are also very, very fond of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, so, you know, that could be a big plus for you. Based on these past 5, yes. To a moderate degree, anyway. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and come back next time when we tackle the Game Gear port. I think this is the Game Gear version of Streets of Rage. That's going to be special for sure. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, follow the show to know when we do this, because we are doing this every week. You can tell I'm very, very tired. I'm actually losing what I need to say, because I'm just losing my ability to speak at this point. But subscribe to the show, follow my Twitch stream to see me stream every single day, as well as check out the show's PayPal and Patreon to support it, so that I can continue to, you know, eat, pay rent, and get more multi-carts. Plus, you'll get to vote on the next one that we get to do, which is going to happen pretty soon. I do have to actually, you know, get the vote for the next one, because we are nearing the end. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and ooh, this is the SMS version, and that is a tasty background. I don't think this is a very good version of Streets of Rage, but we'll find out next time. Peace out, Internet.